In 1969, a bank in New York installed a machine designed to make one of America's most common jobs obsolete. The machine had the job's name written on it. Literally, the automated teller machine. Everyone understood the deal. The machine does the teller's job, so the teller goes away. Economists predicted it. Bank executives planned on it. The tellers themselves believed it. Over the next 40 years, banks installed hundreds of thousands of ATMs across the United States, and the number of human bank tellers went up. Not for a year or two, for 3 decades. By most counts, there were more tellers in 2010 than there had been in 1980, standing right next to hundreds of thousands of machines built specifically to replace them. That is not supposed to happen, and it wasn't a fluke, because the same backwards pattern shows up almost every time a machine comes for a job, right up until the times it doesn't. There's a rule hiding inside this paradox, a rule that decides which jobs multiply when the machines arrive and which ones quietly vanish. And if you can run that rule on your own job, you'll know more about what AI is about to do to it than most of the people being paid to panic about it on your feed. If the teller were a one-off, you could shrug it off as a quirk of banking. So here's the same story wearing different clothes. In 1979, a program called VisiCalc turned the paper spreadsheet, a literal sheet of paper spread wide across a desk, into software. Before it, recalculating a company's projections meant rooms of clerks penciling numbers into grids for days. After it, one keystroke. People in the industry called it, out loud, the end of accounting. And by one well-known count, that's half true. In the decades that followed, the United States lost roughly 400,000 bookkeeping and accounting clerk jobs. But over the same stretch, it gained roughly 600,000 accountants, auditors, and analysts. A net gain in the profession the software was supposed to destroy. And this isn't even a computer-age pattern. In the 1800s, machines took over weaving. By one famous estimate, automating about 98% of the human labor it took to produce a yard of cloth. The number of textile workers didn't collapse. It grew for decades. 3 different centuries, 3 different machines, 3 predictions of extinction, 3 booms. When the same impossible result shows up that many times, it stops being a paradox and starts being a mechanism. Something with moving parts you can actually name. There are 2 of them, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. In the ATM, in the spreadsheet, and in the chatbot currently being blamed for the end of work. The first moving part. A job is not a thing, it's a bundle. Watch a 1970s bank teller for a day, and you don't see one task. You see a dozen. Counting cash, cashing checks, taking deposits, but also answering questions, calming down the man whose paycheck didn't clear, noticing that a small business owner is depositing more every month, and mentioning a loan. The ATM automated exactly one strand of that bundle, dispensing cash, and it couldn't touch the rest. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. Automating that one task made tellers cheaper. A branch that reportedly needed around 20 tellers could now run on about 13. And because branches got cheaper to operate, banks responded by opening more of them. Over 40% more urban branches in the years that followed, by one count. More branches, fewer tellers each. Net result, more tellers. Meanwhile, the job title stayed, and the bundle inside it transformed. With the cash counting handed to the machine, banks re-aimed the humans at the tasks machines couldn't do. Relationships, judgment, selling. The teller of 2005 was doing a different job than the teller of 1970, wearing the same name tag. So the question, will the machine take the job, was never quite the right question. The machine takes tasks. And when it takes a task, the remaining human tasks don't get less valuable. They usually get more valuable because they're now the scarce part, the part you can't install. That's moving part number 1. It explains how a job survives the machine. It doesn't explain how a job grows because of one. That's part 2. Moving part 2 is the one economist's tattoo on their forearms. When something gets cheaper, people buy more of it. Not a little more, often absurdly more. Those 1800s weaving machines made cloth radically cheaper. And it turned out humanity had a near-bottomless appetite for cloth it had simply been rationing. Ordinary people went from owning a few garments to owning wardrobes. Demand exploded so much faster than efficiency improved that the mills needed more weavers for decades just to keep up. Same with the spreadsheet. When running the numbers cost days of clerk time, companies ran the numbers they absolutely had to run, and no more. When it cost seconds, they started modeling everything: 5-year projections, what-if scenarios, forecasts nobody would have dreamed of commissioning at the old price. The hunger for analysis was always there. The price had been hiding it. Cheaper analysis didn't shrink the industry, it uncorked it. And the branches. Every neighborhood bank that opened after the ATM was demand that had been priced out before. So here's the machine's secret. Automation doesn't operate on a fixed pile of work. The pile itself is elastic. Its size depends on the price. Cut the price, and in a lot of fields, the pile grows faster than the machines can eat it. That's the engine under every impossible jobs boom in this story. But notice the qualifier doing quiet, load-bearing work in that sentence. In a lot of fields, not all of them. Because sometimes the machine really does end the job, and the tape on that is just as clear. In 1950, connecting a phone call was a human job. Mostly young women at switchboards, physically plugging your voice into someone else's street. At the peak, the phone company was reportedly one of the largest employers of women in America. Hundreds of thousands of operators. Then switching went automatic. Today, the job does not exist. Elevator operators, gone. The typing pool, gone. No boom, no paradox, no second act. So what was different? Run the two moving parts against them. Part 1, the bundle. Automatic switching didn't take a task from the operator's bundle. It took essentially the whole bundle. There was no judgment-heavy remainder to re-aim the humans at. Nothing left to move up into. Part 2, the hunger. Phone calls did get cheaper, and people did make vastly more of them. But every one of those new calls was connected by the machine. The exploding demand poured straight past the humans. That gives you the rule this whole story has been building toward. When a machine eats some of a job's tasks and demand for the output can grow, the job tends to grow and transform. When the machine eats essentially all of the tasks, or when more demand no longer needs more humans, the job dies, and no amount of retraining brings it back. And here's the uncomfortable epilogue that proves the rule cuts both ways. The bank teller boom is over. Since around 2010, teller jobs have been falling, not because of a better ATM, but because of the phone in your pocket. The ATM automated one task in the branch. The banking app automated the entire visit. Same job, same rule. Opposite verdicts, 40 years apart. Which brings us to the machine in the room. The AI jobs panic almost always starts with a chart of which jobs are quote-unquote exposed, and exposed turns out to mean the machine can do some of the tasks. But you now know that's the ATM setup. And the ATM setup, historically, is not where jobs go to die. It's where jobs go to mutate and sometimes multiply. So instead of asking the crowd, run the rule yourself on any job you care about, including yours. Question 1. How much of the bundle can the machine actually take end to end? Not in a demo, but delivered with someone still needing to be responsible for the result. Writing a first draft? Sure. Sitting with a client whose business is on fire and being accountable for the advice? That's the judgment-heavy remainder. And remainders like it are suddenly the scarce part. Question 2. If the output got 10 times cheaper, would the world buy more of it? Software, design, analysis, video, legal review. These look more like cloth than like phone calls. Enormous rationed demand, priced out, waiting. Small businesses that could never afford custom software, or an ad campaign, or an attorney's review of a contract, become customers the moment the price collapses. But be honest where the rule cuts the other way. A job that is one repeatable task. Routine transcription, basic translation, standardized paperwork, is operator-shaped, and demand won't save it because the new demand flows straight through the machine. That's the honest map. Not AI takes the jobs. Not AI creates more jobs than it destroys. The bundle question and the hunger question, job by job, same as every machine before it. So what do you do with the rule? Tonight, 3 moves all stolen from the winners of the last 3 rounds. First, unbundle yourself. Write down what you actually do all day as tasks. Not the job title, the tasks. Mark the ones a machine can genuinely finish end to end. Those were never the reason you were paid. They were the arithmetic before the spreadsheet, the part of the job that was always waiting to be automated. Don't defend them. Hand them over first on your own terms. Second, move toward the remainder. In every boom in this story, the humans who thrived moved up the bundle. The teller became a relationship banker. The clerk became an analyst. The remainder is always the same family: judgment, taste, trust, accountability. The tasks where a human being has to own the outcome. Aim your next year of learning there, because everything around those tasks is about to get cheap, and that's exactly what makes them the expensive part. Third, ride the hunger. Don't race the machine. The winners after VisiCalc were not the clerks who tried to outcalculate it. Nobody outcalculates the machine. They were the people who used it to serve demand that didn't exist at the old prices. If your field's output is about to get 10 times cheaper, somebody's going to serve the flood of new customers that price unlocks. The machine has no opinion about whether that somebody is you. The automated teller machine is still out there, still wearing the name of the job it was built to kill. A little monument to the most common mistake in economic forecasting. Believing a job is one thing, and a machine ending it is one event. The record says otherwise. The machine takes tasks, the price falls, the hunger floods in. And whether a job multiplies or vanishes turns on 2 questions. Almost nobody in the panic industry is asking, how much of the bundle and how elastic is the hunger? Ask them about your own work before someone else answers them for you. Now, everything in this video is about what the machines do to your job, what the machines cost, and why the companies behind them keep handing you their best one for free. That's the other half of the story, and it's on your screen right now. It's a land war. The free tier is the recruiting office, and you are the territory. See you in the next one.